Okay, time to do the Vestal. So, if you guys are fairly new to the game, I'm sure you've seen the Vestal. The Vestal is your primary healer early mid-game. They have an AoE heal and a direct heal, but also they're pretty good offensively. They're really good utility-wise as far as when you don't need to heal somebody when you utilize their Judgment spell. So, overall rundown on how you're going to use the class. Don't use it to disarm traps because they're not very good. But their camping skills, as far as their Bless spell right here, is really strong, especially in longer dungeons as you get to mid to late game. Very, very strong. Their obviously primary function is to heal, but they have a stun as well, which is pretty good to use in a utility situation when you need it. Situational, but pretty effective. And if you stack prod on them, they're kind of tanky. So they're really strong hero class. So as we look, or hero rather, not necessarily hero class. So as we take a look down on where you're going to run them, the preferred position, obviously third or fourth slot is where you're going to run them primarily. And the reason you need to run them in third or fourth slot is all the abilities I'm going to show you are third or fourth slot, excluding the party heal. Some of their disadvantages are that they move very slowly, so if your party's shuffled and they get in the front row, you're going to have a bad time. So hopefully you offset them with people who can move. Figure highwaymen, jesters move pretty good, grave robbers, even bounty hunters move pretty good, but they will not do very well when you look overall at if they get pushed to the front row. It's going to take 2 turns for them to get to the third row. God forbid you get crits, you're probably going to have a bad day. That's just bad RNG. That's the way the game works. But starting just from the combat skills and what you're going to use, Judgment, one of the best spells in the game. You not only will do damage to a mob, you will also heal yourself for between, I believe it's 3 and 5 HP max at the end. At end game at level 6, as you can see here. Judgment's awesome. I can't say enough good things about it. It's probably in the top 5 as far as the combat skills in the game. Next you have Dazzling Light. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about stun later. Stun is not, it shouldn't be your go-to. Straight line damage should be, but occasionally there's going to be a situation where something bad happened. You need to stun to get out of it, or you want to stun so you can heal up somebody. But stun delays the fight, which means you're going to get more stress. You always want to damage through. I shouldn't say always. Probably 99% of the time you want to damage through versus stunning through a fight. Next you have Divine Grace, which is your single target heal. Enough said. I don't really have to go much into that. And here you have Divine Comfort, which is your AoE heal. You're going to heal your party for between 1 and 2 early game and 2 to 3 mid game, 3 late game. We are not really going to talk about these other abilities because you're really not going to run them. Currently, none of these are really that good. Mace Bash you may use very, very rarely. You'd take Mace Bash instead of Dazzling Light in case you got stuck in the front row. And I've also seen people use Hand of Light on running the ruins with all the undead, or unholy rather. I personally stick with these 4. That's where you should be as a beginner. You need to run these 4 combat skills. So again, Judgment, Dazzling Light, Divine Grace, Divine Comfort. Those are the 4 combat skills you're going to take. Moving into your camping skills, Bless, again, one of the top 5 spells in the game for camping, probably number 5, is Bless. This is a go-to and a must-have for any Vestal that's going to be in the game, especially you look late game. Really, really strong. Really strong. It gives accuracy. So this works really well with lepers and with grave robbers who typically suffer from accuracy issues. I know somebody out there is going to say, my grave robber doesn't have accuracy issues. Yes, it does. Try and do the throwing knife. They always get dodged or missed until you buff for it. The other camping skills you're going to take Pray to reduce stress, and you're going to take Chant to heal and reduce stress. So often I get the question, who are the religious heroes. So this spell and this spell, Pray and Chant, they significantly benefit religious heroes. So when you take a Vestal, if you take religious heroes, it makes your life easier. So let's run down the religious heroes real quick for you guys. Crusader, obviously, is a religious hero. Leper is a religious hero. Believe it or not, Jester is a religious hero. And then the Vestal, your go-to, is the religious hero. So that is the 4 camping skills you're probably going to take, or rather the 3 important ones. And again, this is flex. Sanctuary isn't worth 5 time. If this was 2 or 1, I'd tell you to take it. I imagine later on, it's going to be balanced a little bit. 5 is extremely high to reduce a chance of a nighttime ambush, even if it was guaranteed. Definitely not worth 5. At most 3, and even then I'd probably tell you not to use it. You can just buff somebody, which will last until you camp next or till the end of the dungeon. Much better off. Moving on, let's look at your trinkets. So one of the best trinkets for this class is the Haste Chalice, which is a Vestal only. Since you're not going to use them to damage too often, in the rare case that you use Judgment, or uncommon case that you use Judgment, you would utilize the Haste Chalice. Now, if you're running them offensively, don't run this because it kills your damage. But speed is important to a healer because it allows you to have a better chance to go earlier on, which is important in case you have somebody on death's door or somebody that just really needs a heal. So your Haste Chalice, really strong trinket, and in my opinion, the Tough Ring is an absolute must-have unless you're going to run 2 Haste Chalices, which is a little bit overkill. I'd actually recommend that you take a Feather Crystal over taking another Haste Chalice, just my opinion, just to get the extra dodge in there. But the Tough Ring gives you more prot, which means your crits don't hurt as bad, and gives you more HP, which actually gives you 53 HP. So if we look at how that compares, better than a stock Hellion, and 10 less than a Leper, so not bad. It's going to be more than your Highwayman, more than your Plague Doctor, more than your Occultist. So overall, that's kind of a quick rundown on the Vestal. The Vestal's pretty simple because it's a healer. That's really what it's designed to do. But some people misuse the fact that it can be a pretty strong utility character as well. Its Judgment does respectable damage. Its camping skills are really strong. So that's a rundown of your Vestal class. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll do the Jester next. See ya.